Jules,
Yes.
the Sound of Freedom movie that is out right now.
Yes.
Why did I think The Sound of Music? Why does that come to my head?
Ooh, total opposite. I don't know why you were thinking that.
Not even closely related.
I don't know why you were thinking that.
Whew,
right.
I don't either. But let's talk about this movie. I've seen it buzzing a little bit. Sound of Freedom.
Right.
I kind of read the synopsis. It was pretty short. And I got it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this because sometimes with these particular movies, I have to be in the right mood. Mm-hmm. Because it kind of messes with you.
Yeah, they do. You know, I'm going to be honest and say I wasn't planning to watch this one.
I wasn't either.
But my son's father.
Go ahead and shout him out.
I'm going to shout him out.
Okay.
Marcus, I'm just going to say your first name. I know you're a little private. Said, you got to see it and you got to review it. I'm waiting to see your review. So here's the review. We're shouting you out. And thanks for that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't mad that I watched it, but we'll talk about why I wasn't like enthused.
Yes.
Okay. So this is PG-13. It was 2 hours and 11 minutes, which neither of us can understand why.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and let's talk about who's in Sound of Freedom 2023.
So it stars Jim Caviezel as Tim Ballard, aka Timoteo. He said that's how you say it in Spanish, right? You remember him from The Passion of the Christ.
Yes, that's where I first knew him from.
Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of people first knew him from.
Yes.
Deja Vu and Angel Eyes with
Remember
Jennifer
both
Lopez.
of them. Remember, and Deja Vu.
Yep. I remember all these. Mira Sorvino as Catherine. She was in Romeo and Michelle, Butter, Stuber, Mimic.
I just watched her in a movie the other day where I think it just came out on Tubi, where her and all these women, they're going to win this something like $100,000 prize, but they don't know that what it is that they're being hunted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Tubi is really blowing up right now. A lot of people are watching Tubi.
I keep telling people, I've been watching Tubi for years, and I find so many hidden gems. And yeah, you find a few that you like, oh, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But after 15, 20 minutes, if you haven't caught my attention, I'm turning.
Right.
But man, it keeps playing your cue, the type of movies you like. So I might wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, this movie is good, blah, blah. 30 minutes later, I fell asleep. Now I don't remember the movie. And if I back, it's only going to show you that movie. So I find a lot on I love Tubi, especially for horror.
All right. Yeah, I watched it a couple of times, but now it seems like it's just getting better and they're starting to advertise and more people are starting
to watch it. At the Super Bowl. Didn't they advertise at the Super Bowl? And I think that really blew them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill Camp as Vampiro or Vampiro?
I think Vampiro sounds more bougie.
And he was in 12 Years a Slave, The Queen's Gambit, Joker, Jason Bourne.
Joker. I love it. Joker. Okay.
Jose Zuniga as Roberto. He was in Twilight, Mission Impossible 3, Money Train, and Fresh, the one that came out in 1994.
We did Fresh. Remember?
He plays one of the children's fathers.
Okay.
And Crystal Aparicio as Rocio. She's been acting since 2017. She's the little girl that we really follow, that he's trying to save.
Yeah.
So she's been acting since 2017. She was born in 2006. The movie filmed in 2018, so she was around 12.
She did a good job.
Because I was like, wait a second. She's like 16 now. Like, what?
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was filmed in 2018 when she was 12. So.
Okay. Yeah, she did a good job. So let's talk about The Sound of Freedom because, like I said, I didn't hear a whole lot about it. It's a little pinch. Yeah. So let's tell her what it's about here.
All right. So from Angel Studios themselves, Sound of Freedom, based on the incredible true story, shines a light on even the darkest of places. After rescuing a young boy from ruthless child traffickers, a federal agent learns the boy's sister is still captive and decides to embark on a dangerous mission to save her. With time running out, he quits his job and journeys deep into the Colombian jungle, putting his life on the line to free her from a fate worse than death.
And I can totally agree that is a fate worse than death. So just to kind of get a little, it's gonna might get a little triggered or emotional here, but I've seen lots of movies like this. I've watched a lot of crime stories like this, so I know this is like an insanely major, heinous, evil problem.
Yes.
The sex trade, and it didn't even blow my mind because I know the sex trade is like a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it is dominated by men.
Yeah.
And when we say men, we don't just mean men from different countries. We also mean our country as well. Yep. It's a worldwide thing. It's grimy. It's vile in every way. And when they do start catching people, I don't care if you so much as wrote the letter A on your computer to help them get across the street. Every single person involved in this needs to be in prison. And I do not think child molesters can be rehabilitated. That's my personal opinion. It's nothing I'm going to debate with anybody. But when you hurt a child like that and you have those type of sick thoughts in your head, I'm not sure if there's anything that can help. I know maybe curb it, but at no point would I let a child molester who's been in prison for 5-10 years, I'm sorry, you would not be around any children that I know.
I get that.
If I see you around children, I'm looking at you sideways, and then I'm looking at the parents. Do you guys know? Because they'll send out notices when there's a child molester or an offender in your neighborhood. So we get the list. We get them on our phone. We get them by mail and all of that stuff. I've never seen any. But this is what this movie touches on. So if it's something that triggers you, or you're kind of like me, you have to be in the mood to watch it, because it really, really does mess your head up.
Sometimes you can't go by, the child molestation always, but sometimes you can't go by sex offender. You have to read the paragraph, because from what I understand, and maybe they've changed the laws recently, so I could be off. If say a man is peeing outside and he gets arrested, then he's gets put as a sex offender.
And that is not right to me.
Yeah, so if that's the reason why you're on the sex offender list and you're next to my kid, then that's different. Well,
they'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I think, trust me, I get why it is, but let's just, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
You and your male friends were out drinking, whatever happened, he didn't get to use the bathroom. You guys are, oh my God, I gotta use the bathroom, I gotta go now. So you pull over in this alley, not even realizing that there's a school over here. Yeah. And even though it's night, you can't do that, and then it's wrong. That completely ruins people's lives, and that's not a sex offender.
Right.
And
so
in my opinion, I'm sorry.
Fixed it. I don't know if they have, but I remember.
I hope so.
One of the things.
But no, these people that we're talking about, about it as their career. They like doing it. Unfortunately, some of them were trafficked as children, and that's all they grew up to be. That's all they know, and that's what they do. You groom children, and that's they've not even been allowed to go outside to the store by themselves because they're so controlled. So I understand how it works, but this is why we have to do so much more to help the kids.
Yes.
And it's crushing.
Yeah. Now, I mean, they even start this movie where they show real life kidnappings.
I've seen the footage.
Just playing on the street. They're just playing on their sidewalk in front of their house.
In daylight.
And somebody jumps off a motorcycle or whatever and grabs them up and takes them off. And
you can see that they're pros. This real footage is unbelievable, because a lot of times you see other people walking around, it's broad daylight, and you could tell some of them are pros, because when they grabbed the kid on a motorcycle, you could tell they were used to just snatching them up and going. I'm like, most people could barely ride them on. I mean, he's snatching up kids. They put them in vans, and the sad truth is, especially when you're kind of getting further out west. I'm not saying there are other states, because there are plenty of other states with trafficking issues. But when you get to a place like Arizona and you're close to the border, you are running the risk, if you lose a child, to never seeing them again if they've crossed the border, and it's just awful. I mean, it makes me want to go turn into Wonder Woman and go handle these people. Do you know what I mean? It's awful. The movie, it wasn't, don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad by any means, but it was extremely slow.
Yes.
And I've seen a million other movies like this that got way more grit.
Yeah.
And I got way more into it. And you don't have to get into the nitty gritty of what's going on here. I think we know that nobody wants to see that.
Right.
But this movie was probably not even half speed of what I've seen other movies really, really go in there. Because there's some grimy stuff that they kind of tiptoed around.
I'm wondering if they did that because this is PG-13. So that more younger people can see it. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But
I don't know.
Maybe they kind of lightened it. I'm not saying lighten it.
No, I know what you mean.
You can't lighten
you
what
did.
happened.
No, you're right. I know what you mean.
They didn't show stuff that they could have.
You're exactly right, and I completely agree with you. They did that in the movie Precious. Mm-hmm. So we read the book first, and it's actually called Sapphire's Push. And it was named Precious because another movie came out called Push. But having read the book, and it was part of a school assignment, so I had to. When I say the book would have made your stomach turn, it had my head messed up, my soul messed up for days. The movie was so much, you just can't put certain stuff on the screen, because when I say, and I read plays, you know what I mean? And in that particular book, I'm telling, there's certain stuff you read or watch that's just like, man, why did I do that? I wish I could get that out of my head, because the stuff is real.
That was kind of like that movie, something about the rainbow.
That's for color girls who consider suicide. Yes, I've done that play a couple times. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when y'all were like, come to the movies and see this movie. And I went and I saw that movie.
Did you go with us?
Yes.
We did the whole girl thing. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because we had done the play a couple times, and honey,
that part really, well, we could say because it's old now, it's classic.
Yeah.
When that man dropped those babies out the
window.
That
was me. That was Lady in Red, and that was me. His name was Kwame Bo Willie Brown. That was the name of the little boy, and I had a little girl.
I was not prepared for that.
You know what?
I never read the book. I didn't.
Oh gosh, you didn't?
No, I didn't know. Y'all all knew where it was coming on. Like,
well, see, I did that role.
Yeah.
So I knew, and let me tell you, I mean, I could do my acting thing, but I'm telling you, doing that role, girl, when I say it was hard, because when I'm acting, I can see, I visualize what I'm talking about. And he didn't mean to drop the babies, but he was trying to punish her and scare her. He didn't mean to, but he did. And then there's another one called, and I don't even know where I got the play from, but I'm looking for somebody to maybe produce it. It's one called For Colored Guys Who Consider Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough. So it's about men. It's about Willie Brown when he dropped them babies and now he's in prison. Oh, so it picks up from there, and it's just astounding because a lot of our, and we'll let it go after this, but a lot of our men, dealing with mental issues, sometimes they're embarrassed, and some of this will bring it out. And I would love to just recruit men. And, hey, it is okay. You don't hold stuff in. Y'all need to talk sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, what did you think as far as the pacing of the movie? Like
I said, I thought it was slow too. They could have cut some stuff. They could have sped up a little. It did not need to be 2 hours and 11 minutes. We could have got to this point. And I know that it's based on a true life story. Stuff just went slow though. It went slow.
It went stuff that was like basic knowledge that we already know.
Yeah, and also like some scenes could have been a little bit shortened, like the boat ride to the island, and
it just no reason for that. An hour and 35 minutes would have done just fine. Spread it out. So you got some extra scenes. Any extra scenes for this one? I didn't continue.
Yes, like right after it's done, of course, they give the statistics about child trafficking.
Oh yes, that's right.
And from my Run P app, it said about 2 minutes after the credits start, there's a message from Jim Caviezel. So
okay. And then we got some notes here about the movie.
Against the wishes of the producers, Tim Ballard personally insisted that Jim Caviezel play his character's surrogate in the film. Okay. I wonder if it's because he played Jesus.
I don't know, but he did a fantastic job as playing Jesus.
And they look a little similar, when they showed the real man, because they showed the real guy and they showed Jim Caviezel. They did that's a pretty good match. Angel Studios crowdfunded the distribution and marketing expenses. So that was good. The movie was finished in 2018, but it would take years to release the film as filmmakers were turned down by various distributing companies, as they didn't want the film associated with their output, such as Netflix.
Well, dang. What's the drama going on with that? I'm going to have to look that up. Yeah. Okay.
Jim Caviezel considers this his most important acting role since playing Jesus in 2004's The Passion of the Christ.
I find Passion of the Christ to be his most phenomenal work that I've seen. And I've seen him in other stuff.
Remember when people were falling out in the movie theaters?
Is that really?
Yeah, they were. They were passing out.
When at the part where they nailed his...
I don't know. I never actually ended up seeing the movie.
I will recommend I will recommend seeing it, if nothing but for his performance, and it'll make your heart.
Yeah.
Watch it with your dad. I think your dad might like it.
I think my parents saw it back in the day. But
okay.
My son was pretty young, and we had basketball, and I just had a lot going on, so I was like, skip it.
Okay.
And people were falling out and stuff, and I was like,
I'd be talking about that stuff, and I'd be like, they were screaming in the theater. It was so horrible. I'm like, what theater? Where? Okay.
This movie outgrossed its budget within 2 days of release.
Really?
The budget was $14,600,000, and the gross in United States and Canada, actually worldwide, was 58,498,581.
That's insane.
And opening weekend alone, it made $19,680,879 on July 9th. Like, for a movie I didn't even really hear too much about.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of money for a movie that I didn't.
I do kind of remember seeing a commercial, but I was like, that's not my.
It didn't really.
It's not my thing. I'm not going to see it. So they're like, people were like, see it. So.
Even the previews didn't draw me in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sound of Freedom was filmed in 2018 by director Alejandro Gomez Monteverde, but its release was delayed after Disney acquired its original distributor, Fox, a fact that has led to false rumors that Hollywood tried to shut the film down.
I wouldn't know.
So that kind of almost counteracts what they said about Netflix.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't see any reason for anyone to try to shut the movie down. It wasn't like, oh my God, don't put that out.
Yeah.
Not even.
No.
People just need something to do
This seems like something that they could actually just show on Lifetime.
I was thinking it was something that should have just went to like Peacock or something.
Yeah.
It's a streaming service because
they could. And I don't even think that they'd have to do really any editing. Just
because there wasn't a I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, so there you have our review of.
Wait, did we give clappers? No.
Oh no, we did. What am I doing? It's the heat. It's like 1:15 today. Okay, so clappers. I mean, I just have to be honest. We keeps it real here. My clappers for this was 2.5. I mean, I've seen this 1,000 times and I've seen it better 1,000 times. Didn't hate it, but I mean, I wouldn't go watching it again or be like, oh, it's on, let me go watch it. I'm just giving it a real, and it's a real soft 2.5.
Yeah. The little girl that they picked did an excellent job in this movie.
Maybe, yes, she did.
And she's been in a lot of things, just not in America. So I hope to see her in more things in America if she chooses, of course.
Absolutely.
But she did really great. I think I might have to agree with you on that 2.5. And I know people might be screaming at us like, what are you talking about?
I'm sure
that movie was the best.
Say it in the comments.
I was told to bring Kleenex and all this stuff. And I was like, it's sad. And it's sad because it's real. That makes it even more sadder.
Yes.
But just for the movie purposes itself. Just for the movie, not for the subject matter.
Right, exactly.
That's what we're talking about here. And I'm giving it 2.5.
Yeah. I can agree. I would say wait till it hits a streaming service, or if you might get a free Redbox or whatnot, maybe go ahead and use it. And I have a feeling we're looking at the box office numbers now.
Yeah.
I was going to say it will probably be streaming pretty soon, but maybe not.
Yeah.
But,
we might be the oddball people out, but that's why we keep it real. If you like what we like, then you'll probably think this is slow too. Yeah.
I mean, if you absolutely feel you have to go to the movies, you've seen everything, you just need to go see something, matinee it.
Yeah.
That's our recommendation for the movie.
Yes.
Sound of Freedom.
Yes.
And don't forget, me and Jules, we are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Cash App.
Yes.
If you want to make any type of donation, we appreciate it.
We
do. We also take requests
out there.
Yes. We take requests, so let us know what you want to see. We'll
thank you again, Marcus, for this one.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what genre it is, old or new. Let us know. We'll go ahead and shout you out on the show and review it. You can also check us out on Connect to Your City. Go to the FearCon tab, and you'll see all of our thrillers and horrors. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in to Sound of Freedom. We will see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.